one or two guys and 4 or 5 guys standing up and, more than 5, trying to identify them? How hard is that for you guys to be able to know to get the right guy to make sure you've got everyone covered?
Right. They do an outstanding job in that area, particularly those known passing situations. And they make no secret about, they're really not disguising who it is that's coming on that deal, but what they do exceptionally well is run games and stunts. So identifying it, we'll get that done, and now get about the work of dealing with those games and stunts. That'll be our big challenge.
With Austin full-time starter now, understanding Pat, protection schemes, the fact that you played him twice last year, how much can that be a benefit to you versus last year where it seemed like they got to such an advantage in the first half of both games?
Well, when you speak about Austin, he's now becoming a veteran player. I mean, he's been around a while, but, that time in the saddle, that's so important. So he's progressively gotten better, is more comfortable with what he's doing. Pat's had a great command of protections and those schemes from the get-go. I mean, he's got just a great knack for that thing. But now that they've had a chance to work together for as long as they have, a certain amount of improvement has occurred.
Going to what Seren said earlier, is this about as good of a test that you can get in December, given the stunts, given the way they try to disguise things, or just the multitude of guys switching positions on the same drive? Is this about as good of a test you could have for an offensive line?
Oh, absolutely.
Going into January.
Yeah, we're 2 good football teams going at it. For us, as an offensive line, a very good, disciplined, aggressive defensive front that knows what they're doing. Of course, we know what we're doing. We've been together a while too, so we'll put the work in this week, and then it'll be fun to watch them go compete.
What did you see in Martinez Rankin in his season before, obviously ended early?
Number one thing that just popped into my mind is what a great pro he is. This guy loves football. I mean, he's all about ball. He thinks about it. He studies it. He's smart about it. So he's an extremely intelligent player that, just needs experience on the field. Of course, he's a good athlete. He's also very heavy-handed. If you've ever shaken hands with him, you can feel the power in those hands. And when he puts them on you, you can definitely feel it.
Coach Reed mentioned that, against the Raiders, he thought the offensive line got off to a slow start and kind of built in the second half. What kind of leads into that, and how do you reverse that, try and get off to a quicker start?
Right. Well, you prepare during the week. There's no mystery there. We're all doing that, preparing during the week. But a big part of that, I think, is the mental preparation, arriving at game time in a certain frame of mind. And of course, we all want to win the game. All those guys want to go out there and do their best and win the game and be successful. But there's that kind of sweet spot, that frame of mind where you're locked in, but you're also cutting it loose and just letting it go. And so sometimes, hey, what's going to happen? What's going to be different? Just any little hesitation can create that. So that's where your preparation, again, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to face. Just like when you're going in for an exam in college and you've put the preparation in, there's no angst about it. You just cut it loose, let it rip. And so during the week, that's what we'll be working at. Within a game, how do you reverse it? You just come back to the sideline. We as coaches, we try to give them stuff that they know inside and out. They can play fast with confidence, and then they start feeding off of that.
How, Coach, I know everyone loves to have a quarterback that can make plays, and Patrick Mahomes makes plays, like, buying extra time and everything, but you also, when you're playing with your back to him, you don't know where he's at, right? So how hard is it for your tackles with him when he's got the arm that he doesn't mind dropping back 4 or 5 extra yards and then just making up for it with the arm? Does that put extra pressure on your tackles when he's maybe not the traditional 7-step or 5-step and then stepping up in the pocket, that they've got to be a little more aware, or can they be more aware
Sure.
of him?
No, I get what you're driving at, and I think what you're saying is true. That's true about football in general. Of course, we've all seen in here where Pat's helping those tackles more. We'll take it. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have.
Does he hurt him sometimes by not being where, because they can't see where he's at? Does he hurt him sometimes by not stepping up or not being where they kind of got to feel where he's got to be.
Yeah, no, certainly, I mean, those are the kind of things, hey, Pat wants to, boom, hit a certain landmark and throw on that, and if that's something that was a little bit off, Coach Caff and he are working on that. As O-linemen, we're not thinking about, that necessarily, and then once that ball's up and he's clean, and we're hanging on to our heads, well, let's see who catches this thing for a touchdown, yeah.
You got all 5 guys healthy finally, but I guess how long or what's just the expectation for them getting back in sync to playing together?
Yeah, the expectation is today. Let's go out there and operate. These guys have played together a long time. I guess I don't really think in those terms, and so we don't really talk about that in our room. If a guy's out, that's part of football. The next guy's in. We expect that they're in sync. We've put the preparation in. We've played guys at different spots and cross-trained them. And so now, as you mentioned, Fish came back, Larry came back. Well, we pick up right where we left off. But sure, it's football. It's not riding a bike. So there's a certain amount of I gotta knock the rust off, so to speak. But we expect, hey, today in practice, that's what's going to happen. It's football. Oftentimes it doesn't. All right, then we'll come back the next day and work to tighten it up. And then what you see as soon as they get right back into a groove. The older and more experienced they are, like Larry and Fish and all these guys, you would expect that to happen quicker.